Hello, welcome to Mama Makes Sense, where I help overwhelmed adults manage their money one plate at a time. In today's continuance of the How to Cook series, we are going to make French toast. So what you see here is what we will need to make our French toast. We have our stale bread, spatula, a whisk, and well, let's be real, a discount whisk, butter, a flat disc with a rim, eggs, and then some sort of a milk product. I cheat and use a creamer to add flavor in place of the milk or the cream because then I don't need an extra flavoring like vanilla extract. So pistachio latte, yes please. And then of course our good trusty nonstick skillet. Let's get started. First up, we need our eggs. Here we go, fam. Just gonna add them right there into our dish. And it's okay if the yolks break because we're going to break them in anyway. Now, first things, you're going to want to actually try to combine the eggs together before adding your dairy because it helps mix the egg yolk and white together so you're not having like clumps of whites in your custard. I mean, if you have clumps, if that's okay, it's still going to eat and it's still going to taste delicious. But this way, it's less likely to happen. Next, add your dairy. I'd say about a quarter of a cup for 2 eggs. And I tend to find that 2 eggs is just the right amount for 3 pieces of bread, that with minimal leftover anything going on. It does depend on the type of bread you use, how thick it is, how stale it is. Today I'm just using regular sandwich bread. You can use sliced brioche, you can use sliced French bread, you can use Texas toast. Any of these are absolutely acceptable and quite tasty. Alright, next step, now that we're combined, is to take our bread and push it down into our custard. Once we're in the custard, we're just going to let that hang out there for a second and soak up all of that delicious juice. In the meanwhile, skillet friend. Alright, we're going to turn on our skillet to about a medium. We don't want it to be too hot and scorch the eggs. We don't want it to be too low and it just sits there forever and ever and ever. You want a nice sear on the outside of your French toast so their custard stays inside and it's creamy, but the outside is crisp. So we're going to bring that up to heat up first before we add our fat, because by doing that, we're going to ensure that nothing sticks, which is what we're shooting for. Give it just a minute. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm being generous with the butter because I like butter. Butter's delicious. Now, I don't actually suggest using anything metal in your nonstick skillets, but we're just shoving a little butter around and we're not touching the metal, so it's okay. There we go. Bubbly, bubbly. Yeah, I think we're good. All right. Put your piece of bread right in your skillet and let it start cooking. And while that one's cooking, go ahead and start soaking your next piece of bread. Listen to that delicious sizzle. I can't wait. It smells so good in here already. It smells so good. Warm pistachio. Yes. I do love it. So we're going to give it about 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll kind of test the waters and see where we're at on the browning side of things. This happens to be one of my most favorite, if not the favorite breakfast to eat. Partially because it's so simple, it's so easy, and the best thing is like it uses up where you would normally not eat your stale bread. This uses the stale bread, and that's pretty budget friendly. Now we are going to go in there with our silicone spatula because this is a nonstick skillet and we don't want to use metal because metal will scratch. And we got a pop. And we've got brown on the bottom. Do you see if we can see that? See that? Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And let it cook on the other side until we get this nice crispy side on the other side. I'm trying to move this camera, see if we can get a better angle on it for you. Yeah, there we go. And let's see how we're looking. Ooh. Yeah, we're looking pretty toasty there. Yep. Ah, okay, we got it. We're just going to slide you right onto my plate. And we'll be back with starting up the next slice. Yeah, we still got plenty of butter left in that skillet, so I don't think we need to add more. Number 2. And we're going to go ahead and start 3 soaking in what's left of the custard. While that's cooking, let me move my camera over here for you, and we will check in on how much of the custard is left. You can see this right here. See how much is left right there? Yeah. I'm going to flip that over and let that soak up while the rest of the the other piece of French toast is cooking. Ooh, crisis. Camera is sliding. Camera is sliding. You know what? That's not photogenic. Let's turn that around. See how little of the custard is left? Because this bread is really, really stale, it's going to soak up most of this deliciousness, which will be good. It'll be so tasty. It'll be so creamy on the inside when we go to eat it. And the nice thing, too, about using something like a creamer versus a milk is that it can be sweet enough that you don't actually need to add syrup to it. You could just like a little dusting of powdered sugar, and it would be just fine just the way it is. So, you know, if you're like, oh, I want French toast, but I don't have any syrup, that's okay. You don't necessarily need any. Back over to our skillet friend. Looky there. This has already been flipped, and we are ready to exit the skillet. Now, the butter's looking a little overly brown, so we're going to add just a little bit more. And I did turn down the heat just a smidge because I didn't like how much the butter was browning in there. I shouldn't have needed more. But you know what? That's okay. I mean, life isn't perfect. You live it anyway. Food isn't perfect. You eat it anyway. I mean, don't eat something poisonous or something that's gone bad, but, you know, if it's still edible, eat it. In we go. And just so you can see it, this is all the more custard that was left. And, I mean, that's hardly anything there, as you can see. I mean, if you wanted to had an extra piece of bread and you wanted to do a quick dip that maybe wouldn't have all of the liquid soaked up in it, that would be okay too. Can we hear that sizzling happening? Yeah. All right. Let's just check how we're doing over here. Ooh, very brown. That's where that butter was really brown, and yeah. See? It's a little overly brown, but that's okay. It still eats. It's not terrible. It's not burned. It's just going to be really crispy on the outside, which I happen to like. Put away the whisk that we didn't use. That is a time-saving and cooking hack, is to pull your stuff and keep stuff in your drawers close to your cooking surfaces. Saves you some hassle. All right, how are we looking? Yeah, look at that. We're done. I'm going to flip it over so you can see it. Look at that. Crusty, toasty deliciousness. Turn off the heat. Turn the toast around so it's more photogenic. Here we go. Let's see if I can show you this a little bit better. I'll move my plate and the camera. Ooh. And here we have it, guys. French toast. I'm not going to bother with syrup. I'm just going to dig right in and eat this. So if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell. Feel free to check out the link to the blog in the description box that talks about the creamer-based French toast. And also, I have a freebie for you in the description box, 30 budget foods. Feel free to check that out as well. And remember, life isn't perfect. Live it anyway. Love you. Bye.